Hey, this is for Dylan Campbell or anyone who needs to go way back and take their time and slow down and start from the beginning and start fresh with trigonometry. I know it's not something we're used to all the time. So I'm going to go back to the very beginning. I think I throw terms around expecting you to believe them and that you already know them, and maybe you don't. So let's go back to the very beginning. We've been working with trigonometric ratios, which is comparing sides, but what is a ratio? A ratio is just a comparison of two quantities. And so my suggestion is, while you're watching this video, go ahead and start writing this stuff down so that you have it in notes, so you can go back and look at those notes, because I expect that if you're having any trouble at all, you either rewatch the videos or my suggestion is write this stuff down. Write down ratio, comparison of two quantities, and then show some examples of that right underneath it. You know, this is how we write ratios. And then you can access it later. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to start all over again. Here we go. Ratio is a comparison of two quantities. And we could be comparing kids in class who have rank. You know, we have 3 kids in class who have rank to the other, 14 kids who don't have rank. So we would write 3 to 14, or kids who have rank in class to the total number of students in class. And then we would say 3 to 17. That's the idea. Right here, I wrote 1 to 3. You know, it could be 1 apple to 3 oranges. It could be anything. But when we move on to trigonometry, now we're just looking at right triangles. The trigonometric ratios were created so you could find side lengths or angles just using these simple ratios that we've created. So before I erase all this, I'd like you to, pause the video, write this stuff down. I'm going to get rid of this momentarily. So you can go ahead and copy that down, pause the video if you have to, and then we'll move on and how to write ratios. And I'm going to leave this here just for a second because I'm going to erase this and put a triangle on the wall. And then maybe you'll have a chance to really solidify this idea. So we said a ratio is a comparison of two quantities. And a trigonometric ratio is a comparison of two different sides of a right triangle. All right, and it has to be a right triangle. We can't have trigonometric ratios with any old triangle. It doesn't work out right. But it works out perfectly with right triangles, so we use trigonometry in this aspect. So, ratio, trigonometric ratio. How do we write them? We write them with a colon in the middle, or we write them with the word 2 in the middle, 1 compared to 3, or we write it as a fraction of 1 compared to 3. All right, and this is really important, this one right here, because this is what we use in geometry and trigonometry. This is what we really use in mathematics. We use this in the sciences as well. Any of the mathematical sciences, be it chemistry or physics, you're going to use this as a ratio. Right, you're going to show comparisons that way. Now I'm going to erase the top and move on and draw a right triangle. Sorry it's taking me so long to erase. All right, and now I'm just going to draw a simple right triangle. All right, and it doesn't matter what the angles are right now. I'm going to label the corners A, B, and C because we need some information. We need to show those comparisons from a specific vantage point. It's as if you're standing at this corner. Here's Dylan standing at this specific corner. And Dylan wants to know the ratio of all this stuff. And I'm going to say this is 9 units long, and this is 8 units long, and this is, I don't know, 6 units long. All right, and so we have specific functions that go along with this. And now that you've had a chance to write down how we write this, if you haven't, go back and pause the video and write it down on a piece of paper, write it down in a notebook. This is why note-taking is so important in school. It's because we can move on. So there are 3 specific ratios that we deal with right away in geometry, and the only ones that I need you to understand right now in geometry. There's the sine function, there's the cosine function, and there's the tangent function. Okay, and these functions are just simple ratios. It says the sine of any angle is going to be equal to the length of the opposite side, and we've talked about this before, compared to that of the hypotenuse. And the cosine function, the cosine of an angle, is equal to the ratio of the adjacent side compared to the hypotenuse, and the tangent function obviously is the opposite side compared to the adjacent side. Okay, and now because we have you standing at this vantage point, this is where you're looking from, and so you're standing here at angle A, right? And we want to know which side is which. I'm going to switch colors now so you can tell me. If you want to pause the video and take a guess, that would be okay by me, because I'm just recording this all the way along. The side, if we're looking at naming these sides, right, there has to be an opposite side, there has to be an adjacent side, and there has to be a hypotenuse. Now, every time you see a right triangle, just know that the slanty side, or the side that's directly across from the right angle, is called the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. Okay? The next side that we're going to talk about is the opposite side. Okay? And when you're standing up here at angle A, the side opposite of angle A is what angle A opens up into, or directly across from the angle, right? Therefore, down here is the opposite side. It's the opposite of A, okay? And so keep writing this stuff down. It's going to help you out. And last, there's only one more side left, right? So grab your hypotenuse first. Figure out what the opposite side is. And the side that's left over has to be the adjacent side. And the word adjacent just means next to. Okay, so adjacent means just next to where that angle is created. It's one of the sides that helps create that angle, so it's your adjacent side. Right? So if you understand that'd be great. If not, this is a good, solid place to start. And I'm going to stop this video now. I'm going to make another one a little bit later, but I'm going to check in to see if you jumped onto the meet. I'll leave you another message.